Tonight on CTV News at 11:30, baseball fever grips Canada as the Blue Jays take on the Dodgers in Game 3 of the World Series. Plus, investigators in the Soo undertake the city's largest drug bust ever.
More than $1.4 million worth of illicit drugs and over $124,000 in Canadian currency.
According to police, it's all from a search warrant last week on Princess Crescent. And the union at North Bay's Regional Health Centre is speaking out on cuts.
The staff are scared, furious, disheartened, disgusted, and they're saying, yeah, I'm probably just going to leave and go on to those jobs outside of healthcare.
It comes after the hospital announced it has to deal with its budget deficit.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Well, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. What a baseball game it has been so far. A lot of Canadian eyes glued to their television sets tonight. Blue Jay baseball fever has clearly gripped our country as Toronto and LA face off in Game 3, and Northern Ontario was no exception.
Her Lumberjacks would like to wish the Toronto Blue Jays best of luck in the World Series.
But show some Blue Jays at a World Series.
Go Jays, go!
That, of course, they're the NOJHL League leading Hearst Lumberjacks wishing the Jays luck ahead of their game tonight. And they maybe brought Toronto some luck tonight with this arguably being one of the bigger moments for Toronto fans this evening.
And a curveball hit high and deep. Left center field.
That was the moment catcher Alejandro Kirk launched a 3-run homer to give the Jays the lead in the top of the 4th. The Dodgers would come back to tie it up at 4, and then Vladimir Guerrero brought in an RBI in the 7th. The game currently sits tied at 5 apiece in the top of the 9th. Well, interest in flights to Los Angeles has spiked since the Blue Jays made it to the World Series. Travel search engine Kayak says searches from flights from Toronto to Los Angeles are 8 times their usual volume, while searches for flights from Los Angeles to Toronto have increased by 6 times. Meanwhile, data from OpenTable found that restaurants in the city saw a 38% increase in activity during Game 7 against the Seattle Mariners. Well, closer to home, a record drug bust in Sault Ste. Marie. More than $1.5 million in drugs and cash has been taken off city streets. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
More than $1.4 million worth of illicit drugs and over $124,000 in Canadian currency, making this the largest drug seizure in the history of the Sault Ste. Marie Police Service.
The historic drug bust is made up of large quantities of suspected methamphetamine, cocaine, oxycodone, and fentanyl. It all stems from an October 21st search warrant that police executed in a multi-residential unit on Princess Crescent.
I would say that the sheer magnitude of the seizure is very significant. We've prevented a large amount of poison from going onto our streets within our community, and this is about community safety and saving lives. And if that's the case, if we even only saved one life or prevented one overdose, then I would say that's a positive win for us and the community.
20-year-old DeJour Jones from Toronto faces 4 trafficking-related charges and 1 charge for possessing property obtained by crime. In addition to the roughly 10 kilograms or 23 pounds of drugs, officers also located drug cutting agents, packing materials, as well as 3 weigh scales and 5 cell phones.
I can't attribute that this person is affiliated with any specific group. What I can tell you is that the sheer amount of drugs that you see before you and the packaging involved, that this person was organized.
Police officials wouldn't go into the details on how this arrest took place, other than saying that it was a long investigation that used intelligence-led policing and that the investigation remains ongoing.
If more people are identified, then they will be exposed and treated accordingly.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
A Toronto man is facing charges after an OPP drug trafficking investigation in Cobalt. A 24-year-old was stopped by police around 3 Friday afternoon in Timiskaming Shores. Investigators say a search of the vehicle revealed fentanyl, cocaine, a loaded handgun, and $1,300 in cash. North Bay police are looking for 3 suspects who tried to use counterfeit money. Police say it's an ongoing investigation and weren't able to provide any specifics other than the suspects used counterfeit money at a local retailer. Anyone with information on the suspect's identity or whereabouts is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. As many as 40 layoffs were announced last week at North Bay's hospital. Today, the union spoke publicly, criticizing hospital leadership and the Ford government for playing down the potential impact to patient services. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
We are not going to take these cuts laying down.
Staff morale is very low at the North Bay Regional Health Center after devastating cutbacks were announced last week.
The staff are scared, furious, disheartened, disgusted. And they're saying, yeah, I'm probably just going to leave and go on to those jobs outside of healthcare.
The job cuts are a major setback, the union says. 40 full-time and part-time positions will be eliminated.
We had just had a meeting 6 weeks prior to this where the employer is required to disclose to the union if there's going to be any cuts. And if there are going to be cuts, they need to work with us from the beginning stages of planning on minimizing the number of cuts. They never told that it was going to happen.
Affected positions include nurses, PSWs, clerical staff, a pharmacy technician, and a patient food service worker. However, the hospital says actual layoffs could be much lower when retirement and attrition are factored in, as well as the fact 14 new roles are being created.
And we're not going to let this issue go. We're going to pursue this because we're afraid this 40 is going to be another 60 and then another 100, and there'll be downsizing of beds.
The hospital is also realigning the number of physician leadership roles starting January 1st. This is a reduction of 20%, but with no change in doctor numbers, as it looks to find $5.6 million in savings. Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli says these job cuts won't affect patient care, writing, for the North Bay Regional Health Center, annual funding has grown by $49.3 million since 2020, representing a nearly 20% increase. The union disagrees.
They're out of touch with reality and don't work on the front lines. They don't have to look in their patient's eyes and say, I won't be back for 15 minutes. I have to go take care of another patient. We're short again today.
CUPE plans to hold a town hall meeting in December, along with rallies calling for changes within the healthcare system. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Mining company Glencore is working on plans to close one of its mines in Greater Sudbury, and the union is making sure its members stay working. CTV's Angela Campbell reports.
Traffic goes in and out of this entrance in Levac, where there are several production sites belonging to Glencore Sudbury Integrated Nickel Operations. That includes Fraser Mine, due to close by the end of this year. No one from Glencore was available for an interview, but provided a written statement saying, in part, we are committed to managing this transition in a transparent, respectful, and collaborative manner. Throughout the closure and rehabilitation process, our top priorities will remain on health, safety, and environmental stewardship. Almost 200 production and maintenance workers are based at Fraser Mine. Most will be moved to other Glencore operations in Sudbury.
In our collective agreement, the protections that we've bargained, we don't foresee any job loss in our bargaining unit. So that's positive, but it's also, things could change. Things change all the time, right? So we're actively working with the employer to make sure there is no layoff or any kind of job reduction in our bargaining unit specifically.
Glencore says there will be new opportunities at its Onaping Depth project, also in Levac, where it's ramping up operations.
Onaping Depth to Craig Mine, that's a project currently. Not work we normally do, but again, in our collective agreement, we've negotiated protections that basically say if there's any kind of disruption or job loss, that our members will take over the work of the contractors that are doing the work currently at Craig Mine, which is, from my estimates, around 250 positions open. Well, not open, but available.
The only issue is there could be a 6-month stretch between Fraser closing and Onaping Depth opening.
To me, it makes a lot more sense to keep people working throughout this transition position or transition period. And then once the mine's in full production, then we're back to where we were.
Last year, 553,000 tons of ore came out of Fraser Mine, where nickel, copper, and other minerals have been mined since 1963. but the final production of ore will happen in December. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Levac.
Work will soon wrap up for the winter on a major rehabilitation project in Sudbury. Work has been underway all summer on a 1.7-kilometer stretch of Junction Creek in the flour mill. The project manager says they're roughly halfway through the entire work, with the rest to be completed next year. The $17 million project included excavation of the creek bed, with construction winding down for the winter. Certain areas will reopen to the public.
They're going to be installing a fence alongside the new walk path right beside the creek. So until everything's actually completed, like we will reopen the park, but we're still going to delineate, the work area from the public to ensure that people can still use the park and that we can also complete our work.
The project is being funded through the federal government. Smooth Rock Falls is moving forward on a project that will add more affordable housing within the community. After reviewing proposals, the town chose Descon Construction as the contractor for its attainable community housing project. With a need for more housing, particularly for seniors, council approved the project last spring. Before any specific decisions are made, the town wants to hear from interested residents, but the project manager expects between 20 and 30 units, and many to be geared for seniors.
We think there's a need for senior housing. I looked at the demographics in advance, met with the council, and right now the feeling is there is a need for seniors, but hey, there could be a need for other housing. We're quite capable of building anything.
Public meetings are set for November 19th. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions, and it is a cool one out there. Clear skies, a little bit of cloud cover making its way through Campus Casing and Wawa, but not a whole lot. 0 in Timmins, -1 in Timiskaming Shores. Not a great night for the plants. Winter is certainly on its way with the frost. 3 in Gore Bay, 2 in Elliott Lake. We'll have details in a moment.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Here we go. It's a big weekend. Time change coming up in just a couple of days, and Halloween Friday. What's the weather forecast going to be? Let's have a look right now. Forecast radar. We've got a system moving into the northeast. We've got some sunshine, some cloud cover for the next couple of days, but then it's going to rain perhaps on, well, Friday, just in time for the trick-or-treaters. So let's have a look at some of our conditions right now. This is what Environment Canada is calling for the next couple of days. Sudbury Nickel Belt, sunshine tomorrow at 10, 9 with the cloud on Wednesday. Thursday, sunshine at 9. Here we go, trick-or-treat. 60% chance of precipitation on Friday at 5, chance of showers Saturday at 5 and 4 with the time change come Sunday. Again, your normal this time of the year is around 6, so it will cool off by the end of the week. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma, we've got mainly sunny skies and sunny skies Wednesday, Thursday. Your temperatures 12 and 11. Cloud cover on Friday for Halloween with a high of 7. Sleet on Saturday, 30% chance of sleet. Right now, 5 degrees your high. Time change Sunday at 6 again with sleet in the forecast, showers and flurries. We'll get to Timiskaming Shores in just a moment. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. We've got sunny skies for 3 days, 10 and 9 your highs. Halloween Friday, well, the chance of precipitation and an expected high of 4. Some sleet, at least the chance of it. Saturday at 4. Time change Sunday, 4 degrees once again with the chance of sleet. And Monday, we've got some showers. Your normal at this time of the year is around 5. A look now at Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Sunshine for 3 days, 10 and 9 and 8. Your temperatures. Friday, here we go with precipitation. Good chance at 40 to 50%. Expected high at around 4. Chance of showers on Saturday at 4. Time change Sunday, also 4 with the chance of showers in the forecast. So the weekend not looking too promising beginning on Friday. How about North Bay, West Nipissing? We've got some sun and cloud and sunshine Thursday, 10 and 9 your temperatures. Friday, we've got some precipitation. Halloween Friday at 4, Saturday, chance of showers at 30%, and time change Sunday, shower activity and 5. So, Ian Campbell, looks like a nice week up until Friday. The chance of precipitation just to spoil things for the trick-or-treaters come Friday evening. Back to you.
That's certainly a trick. Thanks, Rick. Well, a Timmins man is getting ready to open his haunted mansion. It's been a popular venue for every Halloween in nearly a decade. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
The haunted Brimstone Mansion in Timmins is ready for another showing this Halloween.
I'm sure you taste much better when you're afraid.
Ron Lapine and his volunteers begin setting up this ghastly multi-room freak show in September. Lapine says he and his sponsors have forked out tens of thousands of dollars over the past 9 years, and the crew puts in around 4,300 hours to get it ready and take it all down. But it's a labor of love for his grandchildren and his wife, who's battling cancer.
And every year she stays alive. I said I'd do it, so I'm hoping to be able to continue. But it's getting harder. Help has been slow in coming, and it's something that the children start here in September asking me if I'm going to do it. So, you know, and I'm going, how do you tell 8 and 9 and 10-year-olds that no? And honestly, I find that somebody has to help the city do something. And I find there's not enough for the children. And where there is, well, some of them can't afford to go.
Everyone is welcome to tour the spooky mansion and get acquainted with some of the creepy ghouls. All Lapine asks for in return is a donation for the Timmins Food Bank, $2 a person, and a can of food.
We may have a job to do, you know, throughout the year, but sometimes we got to give back, and this is our way of giving back. And we give 100% back to the food bank.
He says he collects at least 3,000 pounds of food and close to $3,000. His busiest year yet was over 5,000 trick-or-treaters. Lapine says the experience takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and everyone will leave with some treats. The haunted Brimstone Mansion will be open on October 29th, 30th, and 31st from 5:30 to 9:30, and maybe even later depending on the lineups. The address is 1094 Chestnut Lane. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
As the spooky season winds down, it's time to start planning ahead for winter fun. The outdoor winter market returns to North Bay with more magic and community spirit. The market starts November 8th and runs until the 28th. It includes vendors, live music, cultural programming, mini train rides, Santa Claus, and much more. Speaking of Santa Claus, he'll be making some stops across the north next month, including here in Sudbury. The Sudbury Santa Claus Parade released its plan today, outlining a larger route than last year. The parade will start and end on the Notre Dame and St. Anne's intersection, following Elgin to Elm, then down Durham and up Lisker before heading back up to Elm and St. Anne's. Organizers say the theme is Christmas movies and encourage float designers to take inspiration from their favorite holiday films.
It's a little bit bigger than we've had for the past few years. The parade gets a tremendous amount of turnout, so we wanted to give people more opportunities for great viewing spots. A little bit more room to stretch out, and some opportunities to engage with some restaurants and businesses downtown to get some snacks and treats and all the exciting things that make Christmas fun.
Santa will be making stops in North Bay on Sunday, November 16th at noon. Next will be the Sioux Saturday, November 22nd at 5, followed by the Sudbury Parade at 5:30 the same day, and Timmins will round out Santa's tour at 6 p.m. on November 22nd as well. As of today, flu shots and COVID-19 vaccines are available to the general public in Ontario. The shots are being administered at pharmacies, some public health units, and participating doctor and nurse practitioner offices. The shots are now widely available after initially being offered to higher risk groups. RSV shots are also being offered to eligible seniors, pregnant women, infants up to 8 months old, and children up to 2 years old who are at high risk. The Ford government says it'll be spending $1.1 billion over 3 years to expand home care services.
Our government's investments will help shape the future of home care in Ontario, allowing even more people to receive convenient, high-quality care in the comfort of their own homes, surrounded by their loved ones.
The province says it'll connect patients who no longer need to stay in hospital to nurses, physiotherapists, and other healthcare professionals. A move the provincial government says will ease the strain on hospitals and support an aging population. Meanwhile, a promising new drug to treat Alzheimer's gets the green light, but it's being described as costly. Lecanemab is the first drug authorized in Canada to help slow the progression of Alzheimer's. It took more than 2 years for Canada to give the drug the rubber stamp. The medication Canadian doctors currently use targets the disease at the dementia stage, but lecanemab can be used much earlier to slow what can be a rapid decline. It's already approved in 51 countries, including the U.S., where it costs more than $26,000 a year. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. Yes Theatre announces its new lineup, and it means some pretty big shows will soon be seen in Sudbury. More on that after this. A Sudbury business has raised more than $60,000 for the local hospital by playing games. Good Manners Real Estate Group recently hosted its third annual Game for Good. The event included a live stream video game marathon along with 24 hours of games and fun to raise money for Health Sciences North Foundation. $25,000 was raised this year, bringing the three-year total to more than $60,000. Cambrian College's pre-service firefighter education and training has collaborated with the Ministry of Natural Resources, allowing students to enroll in a Fire 1 course. The course trains students on wildland firefighting. It's being offered as an elective to the core curriculum that will take place throughout the regular semester. Students taking the course will still have to take the physical test associated with the Fire 1 course separately to be qualified for M&R positions. Cambrian College officials say that the new offering allows students greater employability after graduation.
They know it's going to be extremely competitive to find qualified people, and I think it's a real asset to the college and the local community to have these individuals who will also be trained in structural firefighting, who will also be trained in wildland firefighting and certified in both. To be part of this community, and it really opens up a lot of different employment options for these students.
Cambrian College reserved 16 seats for this year's program, which are now full. Tessier says the college plans to reserve more seats next year. Brad Jacobs and Team Canada are champions again, this time at the U.S. Steel Pan Continental Curling Championship. Team Canada won the gold medal 7-3 over Team USA. This is the third time Canadians have won gold in the Pan Continental's 4-year history. And the Henderson Meadow Fall Classic Curling Championship wrapped up yesterday in Sault Ste. Marie. Team Casper of Minnesota played an action-packed final against Team Retournaz to win the title and a $24,000 check. Well, from the ice to the hardwood, the basketball season will get underway late December in Sudbury. The Sudbury Five announcing today their home opener will be December 29th against the Lake Erie Jackals. Well, Yes Theatre is announcing its full lineup of productions for the 2026 season. The shows will take place at the Sudbury Theatre Center and the downtown outdoor venue, the Refectorio. CTV's Alana Everson reports.
Yes Theatre Artistic and Managing Director Alessandro Constantini unveils the 2026 season. He says a lot of thought goes into the selection process for productions each year.
The season that we've assembled this year, I think, really achieves our intention of being locally driven and world-class. So we are working with incredible local artists here in our community to tell these incredible, brilliant stories, some that are new, some that have been developed right here in Sudbury, some that have been taking over the world for decades and years.
One summertime production, City Medicine, is written by local playwright Sarah Gartshore in collaboration with people who live on the street in Sudbury.
So we were looking at the crisis that we're facing in downtown and the crisis that many Canadian cities are facing, and we wanted to do something about it. We wanted to bring people together to talk about the crisis in a really hopeful and meaningful way.
Constantini says there is something for everyone in the 2026 lineup.
We have Disney's Frozen, we have Canada's most successful theatre piece, Come From Away, we have a David Bowie concert and Queen concert, Sinatra concert that's going to be happening, and we have an original Canadian musical that we have commissioned here in Sudbury called Way Out There that will be opening the season.
Constantini says Yes Theatre amalgamated with the STC in 2023, and at that point there were 90 subscribers, and there are now over 1,300 in just 3 seasons. The artistic director says the major uptick comes at a time when many theater organizations across the country are seeing a decline in subscriptions. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
That takes us to the end of our newscast this Monday night. A quick note before we go. The World Series appears to be still tied at 5 apiece in the bottom of the 10th. CTVNews.ca will have your latest updates. In the meantime, for the latest news anytime, you can get it from CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca, or you can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.